Hi there, everyone. You're welcome to another exciting and interesting episode of the Family and Society Talk Show. My name is Elizabeth Samsedi. Interestingly, I have someone really very interesting with me to dissect our topic of discussion for today, which is we are going to be looking at the relationships at these times. The relationship that's relationship in this hardship, economic hardship that we have staring at our face in Nigeria. With me in the studio right now is Mojisola Olatinwo. I got that right.
Yes, you did.
I was being careful
It's a
so
bit
that
of a mouthful.
right so that I will not mother it.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so Moji, like I call her, is a librarian, she's a researcher, and she's a family coach. We have a lot in common. So this is why we are here together to dissect exactly what it is that is going on in homes and families among relationship in this harsh economic weather. Once again, you are welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
So tell me, how has it been? It's been tough.
It's been hot.
It's been hot, it's been tough, it's been a lot of things. How has your experience been lately when you go to the market?
Market. I think all they need to do is get a mop for the tears running down people's eyes in the market.
Right.
You hear conversations between people coming to buy things, and you hear it's just it's saddening.
It is very.
To say somebody comes into the market, wants to buy something, can't afford it. Obviously can't afford it. And this is not somebody that is looking, this is somebody that is looking middle class, maybe a little bit above middle class, and they're having to make decisions.
Do we still have middle class?
It's shrinking very fast. It is shrinking really fast. And so you see these ladies who apparently drove themselves to the market. And they're standing there on the spot making decisions, taking things off their list, reducing quantities, because
I lent a cup of rice. I don't know if it's gone beyond that. The last time I heard it's 500 naira for a cup of rice, and that a mudu of gari is 1,001 or 1,002. If I was very amazed when I heard that of gari. If gari,
which is supposed to be
a poor man's food,
quote unquote,
meaning the poor man is not meant to exist anymore because there's no poor man food again, because there's nothing that is affordable, for the poor man anymore. If a mudu of gari is above 1,000 naira, 1,001,
and you see, I think what is more shocking for most people is these prices are going up by the day.
Oh yeah.
So you come 4 days later, you come for the same item, and the price has doubled.
Right. Yeah, like you were saying off camera, like you said, even the shako, the shako seller will tell you dollar has increased. What concerns shako with dollar? I said that except in Nigeria now we equally import shako.
Even the barrow boy will tell you until 15 naira not do again. Say
no, they don't collect. If you are even saying 50, if you give them 100 naira, they will tell you no. They will tell you what is this.
So what I now even see playing out, especially in like our markets now, like a lot of men don't even bother with the barrow again. Because
when you have hands, right? When you have hands, right?
Yes. And I mean, come on, what you would have bought for 50,000 that you'd have called a barrow man about 3-4 years ago fits into
one bag. Yeah, that's right.
So what are you calling me?
So there's nothing for barrow. You don't need a barrow anymore. Yeah. So since it's just the leather, you just carry your leather and you go your way. Okay. So now, having said all of this, relationships. How are they surviving? We have different scenarios where we have the man working. Okay, like I asked the question some time ago. A lot of our men, a lot of husbands, they're like, oh, they don't want their wives to work. Like, I'm providing enough. Am I not giving you enough? You don't have to work. You are my wife. I make enough that that can sustain the two of us. Is that still the case right now?
I think we should take a poll and ask those men how they are feeling now.
So men, for those men that are watching that do not want their wives to work,
how are they feeling?
How is it? How are you coping? Yeah, exactly.
Are you still making enough?
Exactly.
Are you still making enough? Because salaries haven't increased. Even if they have, they've not increased by much. 1,000 here, 5,000 there. Sources of income have not increased either. So for a lot of these men, okay, they were maybe in business or they were working maybe a 9 to 5 that was well paying at the time, and they feel, you know what, stay home, take care of the children, I'll put you on this salary.
Right.
Ha! That conversation.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And even
So
the ones.
classic. You go to make your hair in December, it costs a certain amount. You go back to renew said hair first week of February,
It's changed.
and your attachment. I'm not talking human hair. I'm talking basic synthetic.
The local synthetic
the
attachment.
local synthetic attachment has doubled in price.
Right.
So, is she not to make her hair because you're paying her bills?
Okay, well, there's an option of you can see my hair. This is my natural hair, by the way.
Not all of us have fine hair like this.
We can comb it all
Not
up,
all of us have
brush
fine
it
hair
all
like
up,
this. Some of us, our hair is very unmanageable. Let's just be twisting it away.
you know.
So
No,
that
but
will not go
A
crazy.
girl gotta look
combing
good anyway. Anyhow,
Yes.
you understand. But on a serious
on a
note,
really serious
Yeah.
note, to say some of those ideals are not practical anymore. What you now find is you find that the women are getting frustrated because what they're receiving from their husbands that said they should not work is no longer enough. They don't want to be seen as bad women,
right?
so they're not nagging. Some will.
No,
I mean,
some
we cannot take that
Yeah,
out.
some do.
But we're talking the ideal woman here.
Right.
She doesn't want to put her husband under pressure, but she herself is feeling the pressure. You forget that it's out of whatever he gives her that she's also supporting, help to support
Absolutely.
her parents. She's sending to siblings here and there. That has reduced, because of the whole recession and all that.
Exactly.
And then, okay, so the value of that has reduced. Maybe the amount has not reduced, but the value has reduced.
Definitely.
So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, she's really frustrated because she now gets to the point of resentment to say, if I'd started working 10 years ago when we got married,
Things will have been different.
I would have made progress in my career
Right.
by now. Okay, how do I get back into the
And
workforce?
most probably she had gone above and grown beyond
Certain ages, entry level
Exactly.
jobs are no longer,
Right.
Right. And then, so how does she now get back into the workforce, even if she decides to start working?
Okay.
Or is it at this stage? And for some, they're not as old, but they still have really young children, and they've already built their lives around, okay, this is it for now. How do they now learn a skill, for example?
Like I was discussing the other day with somebody. I say yes, a lot of people, as hard as it may be, a new couple will get that have just got to marry will definitely have children. Those that have not had
2.5.
Yeah, those that
Everybody, they all
right.
want their own
Those that have
children.
not had children will definitely have children. So, and all of this needs to be put into consideration. Okay, that we're looking at it from the as perspective of the man is working. What about the situation whereby it's just the wife that has the job right now? The man probably had a business and things are not moving as good as they used to be, and ends, he can't make ends meet anymore, and he's just there, holding on or searching for something else, for something to do, and it is the wife that either has this white collar job or has a business that is sustaining the home. So, as a woman, how do you think this
So
will
even before the recession, that was a problem.
exactly, right?
By the very way our society is built, and I say let's own it. We're Africans, we're Nigerians. Let's own it. Let's not close our eyes to it.
Right.
Let's see what it is, needs fixing, and adjust accordingly. But you see, this one that you just mentioned, has always been a problem.
It has always been a problem.
It has. It's the rare man that would say, okay, it's fine, you do your thing. It's the rare woman that would say, I'm doing my thing.
Right.
Let's do this together. It sounds stereotypical when we talk about it, but there's always been a need to find that balance to say, okay, in fact, I heard this really beautiful story, I think on Sunday, where apparently the couple has an arrangement
Mm.
where if one person needs to upgrade, the other one
We hold on.
holds on.
Oh, nice.
So when one person needs to do a certification, face your certification,
Okay.
I'll provide for the home.
Oh,
And then when it's my turn,
okay.
I face my
Nice.
certification.
That's understanding.
I mean, that it was such a beautiful story, and I'm like, I wish I could meet this couple to say this is the time for open communication. This
Right.
is not the time to form
Mm-mm.
macho, to carry ego around,
At all.
both in men
And
and
yeah,
in
and his
women.
wife. Yeah,
It could get frustrating when you're the sole breadwinner.
it is.
I mean, like we said, prices are not smiling anymore. And to know that, okay, everything is on you.
Mm.
Again, resentment is setting.
Right.
To say,
Absolutely.
I'm the only one doing everything.
And you will agree that that's natural for that
It's
to happen.
normal. It's normal.
Mm.
It's
It
just
is.
normal.
Mm.
But when there is that open line of communication, and communication doesn't start when they get married, really. Communication should have started way
Earlier.
before.
Yeah, now you are getting to that. I was just going to get there. Way before. I'm happy you said that because what we have been hammering on is before marriage. Way before marriage. Let have this discussion. How is it going to be? Yes, nobody knows when recession will come, when there will be economic recession,
Breakdown.
or when there will be things, price hike and all that. Yes, but it will be okay if at least from the beginning, from the onset, if you have plans, absolutely ahead,
I remember
making plans before
there
marriage.
was a story that trended on social media maybe 2 years ago where the young man broke it off with his fiancée, said he was not going to marry her again because she wanted a society wedding and he felt they were both not financially balanced to have a society wedding. And then people go, okay, if her parents want to give her a society wedding, and he was like, people don't understand. Right now, as you know, the fiance, he was the one that was supporting her and her parents.
Oh, and yet she was
And
asking for
yet
a
she
society.
was asking for a society.
That's,
said he was getting
that's very unfair.
outdone.
No. I would support such a man. I would support such a
And you
man.
know, people are like, oh no, it's her day, give her what, and he goes, no. For him, it's an omen of bad things to come.
It's her day, give her what she wants. What about when they are into the
Do
marriage?
you get? So you know,
So
for
after
him,
the wedding,
it's
after the society wedding, after you have fed people, you have proven to people that yes, you had a fairy tale wedding and all that. Then you come back home and then
Nothing
what?
to-
What happens?
then you go visiting.
Right.
Good evening,
Uncle,
sir, we just came to
yes.
visit.
No.
At least you get a
No.
meal out of it. But that's no way to start life.
No, it's
And
not.
if more young people look beyond the butterflies and the
Right.
romantic what do they do now? Engagement. Proposal.
Proposals.
Look beyond that to have these real and unfortunately, you find that the thinking is a bit twisted. So when you even bring this up with intending couples, the initial reaction you get is bad things will not happen. And you're looking and you're laughing because bad things come even to good people.
Nobody wants bad thing to happen.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants it. But rejecting it, so how is it? They say plan for it.
Mm-hmm.
Trust God it will not come.
Right.
But have your plans in place.
Yes.
It's like the man that says he will not write a will because he's afraid to die.
Right. Everybody must die,
Oh,
right?
if it's now,
Whether you write the will or not,
50 years,
when it's time for death,
90 years.
right. That's it.
Do you get
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Absolutely.
You fail to write a will.
Hmm.
It's not writing a will doesn't mean you are dying or you are about to die.
Absolutely.
But death will come one day anyway.
Eventually.
So it's better.
Why not if not?
Right. Right.
So if it's there and you have to update it every 10 or 15 years because nothing has happened, beautiful. But what if you didn't have it and something did happen?
Right.
Do you get? So we're still human, still living on this
Absolutely.
imperfect earth.
Absolutely.
Who would have thought that we'd be this far into a recession at this time in our lives?
It's actually. I was telling somebody. I was discussing with somebody yesterday. I was like, this is another phase of lockdown. It's a different.
Small. This is financial lockdown.
It's another kind of lockdown in the sense that the first one we were indoors. We weren't meant to go out and all that. But right now we have the freedom to go out. But how many people can actually go out because you consider that's what I'm saying. There's hike and there's a threat now that they are thinking of increasing it again. I don't know how far that's true. So imagine that they do that and
it's going to remain rumors because
I don't know how that is going to be because even right now a lot of people don't go to work 5 days a week anymore. And a lot of people do a lot of.
I read the headline. Lagos State has said civil servants will work only 3 times a week.
Oh yes, most people since the fuel thing, they work like 3 times a week, and you don't just go out like for fun. The way people go out for fun and just drive, you have to conserve your fuel if you have it. If you have the means to get it, you have to like really know where you are going and what it is you are going to get from where you're going, what you are going to benefit from where you are going before you take your car and drive. And people park their cars and use public transport.
You should see how I map out my movements now. So you cluster.
So you plan your movements.
Everything in this area is done on this day. So
right. Yes.
If I don't have it, and that's how. And you're right. It's a kind of lockdown.
Yes, it's a lockdown that is willingly.
It's a self lockdown.
Exactly. Of movement, lockdown of movement by yourself personally.
You find people sending you messages to say, "Can we do this virtually? Can we have this meeting virtually?"
Exactly. So, okay, looking at another scenario where both couple, the two of them are working and still the ends are not meeting. They can't make ends meet.
I think that's the story of it.
Okay, because
a high percentage.
Yeah, let's even consider that the fact that probably 2 of them are civil servants. Oh my goodness. Are you imagining what I'm imagining?
I'm trying not to think about it.
Where both of them, both husband and wife are civil servants, and
I think at that point
they have just 30,000 minimum wage. That's for those that are lucky to have been in those states where it's being implemented, the 30,000, and because in some states it's still not been implemented, and we are talking about the NLC is talking about again an increment of salaries, which is I think is about time.
It is, but then you also look at, can government sustain it, even with the increment? But that's another conversation
for another day.
Talking about a couple who, again, it's open dialogue. It's facing the reality and then thinking outside the box, or even throwing the box out completely. To say, okay, the 9 to 5, and then many times you find that with such couples, it's easier, or it feels safer to just hold on to what you know. To say, okay, at least this will enter.
This is a period where outside work, what you like, if you have a skill,
another source of
is very necessary.
It's very necessary.
Very, very important. Yes,
it's very necessary.
Yes, because we can just not fall back on them.
So I'm a firm believer in acquiring skills.
Oh yes,
whatever the skills are. And then I'm also a firm believer in the fact that acquiring a new skill has no age limitation
at all.
We've had people,
that's another angle to it, because
have become software engineers.
Yes, some people feel they are too old to acquire a certain kind of skill, which is wrong. There's no age,
and it's about exploring, finding out. We've had people in their late 60s who become website designers because they've been pushed to the wall to learn a new skill, even at that age.
Right.
So look at it. Yes, both of you are maybe a bit advanced in age. It's fine. Go online. What are we using this data for?
Right.
The almighty university of YouTube.
Absolutely.
Learn a new skill. It could be a soft skill, it could be a hard skill. Just think outside the box and have that conversation of, okay, how can we make ends meet? What do we need to cut down on? I mean, people have really cut down on costs, but if you really look into it,
No, it
You
will
could
be.
still find a few more things.
I will be so. Should I say? Well, I'm trying to look for the right word now to use for if there's still a home where people have not actually cut down.
Hey,
Costs.
let's learn from them. How are they doing it?
No, really, because
Some things
like
that
right
are
now,
nice,
yes,
but they're
right
not
now the
necessary.
basic things are
Basics.
are the most like food first of all.
Food. Hey.
As far as you
Food.
have a roof over your
You
head,
have a roof of
yes,
so food, clothing, and shelter.
Yeah, these are basic.
Basic
Yeah, exactly.
necessities of life, and then any other extra. You're not thinking, okay,
Then
how
maybe
do we
health in
increase,
case somebody falls ill because you can't look at the weather to start with cold, sneezing
I
here
don't
and there.
understand that.
So health also.
I don't get it.
This period, do you think people can still save
Yes, I think so.
when
So you
things-
see, the thing is,
when they
saving.
can hardly make ends meet? You think they can still set any amount apart for savings?
So you see, saving is a discipline
It is
that can be converted into a habit,
right.
such that no matter where you're at, you can still remove 1 naira and keep. And it's very important.
It is.
And yes, inflation is
It is.
taking over savings. So people are talking about investing, and again, that's another entire
Talking investing. Since you
conversation.
mentioned, I know that's a different thing entirely. But what can people really invest in right now in as Nigeria is, when it's almost as if nothing is working?
Nothing seems to work.
Yes.
There are options. There are options that are not that do not require so much capital.
Because leaving your money in the bank,
No, that's savings.
I mean, it's
And
not.
depreciation is
That's what I'm talking about.
by
Exactly.
the hour.
Right.
It's no longer even on a daily.
It makes no sense. So it makes more sense if there's any way one can, no matter how small, how little, you can invest that money.
Yes.
But into what exactly?
There are different options.
We would like to hear them.
I'm not an
Maybe
expert in
yes,
it. I'm
maybe
still
one or
learning
two.
about
Right.
it. But I mean, mutual funds are still a really safe, long-term investments that people can go into, and you don't need so much to invest. It's as little as maybe 4,000, 5,000.
For what?
Mutual funds.
Okay. How
It's
does
a
it
great
work?
place to start.
Okay.
Google.
Okay.
I don't want to
Enlighten
promote
us a little
any-
bit. Like, no,
I don't
no,
want to promote any organization, but there are
Right.
organizations that actually.
You don't need to
do that
mention
for
the
you.
name of the organization.
Exactly.
Definitely.
There are trust funds that would actually do that for you.
Mm.
You invest 4,000 monthly, 5,000 monthly. It sounds small and it sounds ridiculous. But if
So
you
how
kept
much do
that
you
your-
return? How much do you get back when you invest 4,000-5,000
I think
monthly?
the rate is not fixed, but I think it's between 4 to 6% per annum. And
Of your
I think
invest-
they
okay.
calculate it monthly.
Okay.
There's a way they calculate
Okay.
it. I'm still
So
learning.
I hope, I hope
about that.
you're hearing.
However, so the
Right.
thing is this: you can say, "Oh, why would I invest 5,000 naira that I probably will not be able to get in the next 10 years?"
Mm.
But you're planting into your future.
Mm.
You're not using, like people say, don't use all your 10 fingers to eat.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
That you should, even if it's for the sake of your children,
Right.
for the sake of your retirement.
Okay.
That I know organizations that pension is compulsory.
Mm.
You have to, contribute. So that's another one.
Right.
There are different small
Right.
things.
So moving forward, let's look at the scenario where we have some adult children that are grown and they've graduated, they are working, and their parents depend on them until John sends money. There's no money at home for the parents to feed or take any of the other children to school or anything, or until Mary sends money. There's no money in the house for use. So what happens to John? What happens to Mary? How does John and Mary cope in this economy? And let's not forget that John and Mary have their lives, and in a short while they'll be due for marriage. They will want to settle down.
Did you say in a short while?
Yes.
So let me make you laugh. All through school, they will tell you, classic, all through school, face your books, don't talk to boys. Face your books, don't talk to boys. The day you graduate, they expect you to bring husband home. And they're asking,
And you are
where am I
not
supposed to
talk-
get
right, right, right.
So now, with adult children that are expected to support, it's something that's also been a part of our culture that I think we need to adjust. To say that, again, back to investing into your own future, it is your responsibility to prepare for your old age.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
is.
true.
And so people say sending your children to school is an investment. I would put it in another way to say empowering your children to support themselves is an investment. They will give you peace in your old age. It's not an investment that you would wait upon. It's not a plan. It's not a future plan. You've heard numerous stories about what happened in our area where a young man was killed, and you hear they say, "Oh, he was the hope of his parents." See, yes, we know about sacrificing for your children's future, but inside all of this, plan for your own future.
Okay, hold the thoughts. Even as I'd like us to go on a very short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned. So, Moji is in the studio, and we are talking about the economic hardship the toll is having on relationships, on homes, on families, and on couple. So we are talking about
Adult children.
adult children that the parents are so dependent on when it comes to survival at this point in time.
And okay, so we're talking about how your children are not your investment.
Right.
They are not your future plan. They should
Right.
not be.
Right.
That's where you now find too much interference from parents on such couples because or such a child because they've expected that when this one graduates, it's going to sponsor the remaining to
And
school.
it even gets to the point they like you have to be able to satisfy us before you get married, before so that our investments in you. We have to enjoy you. You have to help us take care of your siblings.
Yes.
Before you get married, because they believe that once you get married, you won't pay attention to them anymore. For me, I think that's very wrong. I think it is very wrong for parents to solely depend. Yes, it is a blessing when you have children, they are doing well on their own. They say,
absolutely.
They remember their parents like, my parents have done everything for me.
In fact, for the child in question,
right.
So if I'm to speak to that kind of child, I'd say do things for your parents for their blessing.
Right.
But it should not be their responsibility to take care of them.
Yeah.
They should do it because they want to honor their parents, they're grateful children.
They are grateful children.
And if there was a generation that got it wrong, then we should not perpetuate the wrongness. And that's why I said it's something that is common in this part of the world. However, it's also something that we need to adjust. And so we're saying, look at, as we said earlier on, you're not too old to learn a new skill.
No, you're not. Actually,
you're not too old
as long as you're healthy
and you're open-minded.
Yeah.
Why not if not?
True.
Know? So yes, to an adult child who is working, by all means, but don't do it at the detriment of your own future. Let me put it that way.
Or comfort even.
Let me put it that
or
way.
Or even comfort.
Because
imagine again, you have to be first of all comfortable
to make somebody else happy.
You can't give what you don't have.
Absolutely.
You have to work and you are okay. You feel you are doing.
Air hostesses say it. They'll say first take your own oxygen mask
before you help
somebody.
That's right. That's it. You have to do okay. Then you feel somebody got me here, or there are two people, my parents made me what helps me this far. And of course, with gratitude to God for their lives, for using them to help you, because there are also situations or scenarios where parents are even there and the children struggled it out on their own. To go to school, to feed themselves and through their bills, their school fees, saw themselves in school. It happens. It happens a lot. But even on that note, we still say it's still right that you remember that you have parents. If you are doing right, if you are doing okay, and take care of them. Because and another, looking at it in another perspective, there are people that are doing so well and they forget their parents.
That's another class of human.
That's it. They forget their parents. They forget their parents exist, or suddenly they have become so big. Their parents are now local. They are now local relevant people. They feel they have grown beyond them. They don't need them in their lives anymore. Even to give them a call becomes an issue. Now to pick up a call to your parents begin to beg you to call them for attention.
Now to people like that, what I usually say is this: what goes around
comes around. Right.
You will not be young and pretty
forever. True.
And again, it's about having that mindset of gratitude. To say, people have helped me. People have sown into my life. Let me use that word. People have planted seeds that are now grown. I should be able to look back and say thank you.
Right. Yeah. Then also for some wives or husbands that would not want their spouse to remember their parents, their in-law.
You see, that is another thing entirely. And yes. You see, this whole in-law thing, there are bad people out there. But there are fewer bad people than good people. And one lady put it succinctly many years back. She said, look, even if the mother of the person I want to marry is a witch, is a known witch. That's the way she put it. She said, even witches have the ones they love. Why can't it be me?
Right. Okay, I like that.
So what kind of mindset are you going to your in-laws with? Remember that these are the people that raised the girl you're dying for. For 20 plus years.
Right.
And then suddenly they are not good for your status. That means you don't even respect her. Or this is the woman that sold her wrapper to send this your husband
to school,
to the abroad,
or even abroad. Exactly, right? Because yes,
you get, and you saw him and you're dying for him,
and suddenly you want him to forget about his parents.
Then suddenly he should just cut off from her because
there are times it's the other way around. You want her. There are men also that
that separates their wives.
That is the lady that is doing well, and they want the guy.
It's a form of abuse.
I think it is.
Separating your spouse from your family and friends
yes.
is a form of abuse. Manipulation.
It is.
It's toxic on every level and should not be condoned.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yes, there are bad people. They raised your wife. They raised your husband.
To the level where
you agreed to marry them.
Right.
So there has to be something good about them. So there are all those nuances. I mean, human relationships, issues arise, we get upset with people, but that's where forgiveness comes in, that's where tolerance comes in, that's where being gracious comes in, extending grace to other people. Because the truth about it is, you yourself, you're not perfect.
None is. No one is.
So to adult children, I would always say, what goes around comes around. You're doing it now to somebody else's mother. You are somebody's mother. You're somebody's father.
Right.
And they will marry.
That's true.
Let's leave that one.
Yeah, that's true. Then, even as we are beginning to wind down right now, is this a time where people should be like, really, I have an Asoebi, I need to buy.
Nobody should mention Asoebi name.
So some person is getting married. My best friend is getting married.
Congratulations.
My colleague is getting married.
If I show up for your wedding, be happy.
There's a 50th birthday.
I'm calculating my fuel already.
Exactly.
I'm calculating my fuel. I'm calculating my tickets.
Yes.
Tickets back and forth.
That is even it. At times, you even need to fly,
even
travel
before
that far
recession.
to attend these ceremonies.
Even before
So,
recession. There's somebody really close to my family that called me a few days to my wedding and said, I won't be able to come to your wedding. I'm going to send you my ticket money. I still pray for you today.
Yeah, right? I think that's it. I think, yes.
I mean, come on. What are we saying here? Look, you know the adage of cut your clothes
According to your
size.
cloth.
According to your size, that's changed.
It's cloth now.
How do we say it off air? If you have 2 yards of Ankara,
right,
go and sew cropped up. Look for a style that will fit into that material.
Right.
This is not a time to go haywire. I mean, so I understand the thinking behind Asoebi. Interestingly, I know the what's the word now? I know the history of Asoebi. The whole concept of Asoebi. I know the history of Asoebi. And I understand the thinking behind it. A lot of brides actually use it to make money.
They do.
So it's business. And I understand it. But this is a time.
That's why they increase the price more than normal. If you find out, if you go to the market and find out that same the fabric
it's
that
usually
they're giving for a certain amount, theirs is usually higher than what you
added their profit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also wrong.
I understand that, but
that's so wrong.
Now is a time to be sensitive and not make the whole Asoebi thing a thing. You get it. It's just the time to be sensitive. To say people are angry. Hungry people are not.
And the hunger is real.
The hunger is real.
It's reality.
I say if you enter market today, you will see people. You will see a woman standing in front of the tomato seller, and she's standing there for
just looking,
spaced out. She's rearranging her list in her head.
Right. How do I adjust?
I budgeted basket of tomatoes for 3-5, small dozen basket, and I'm coming to the market and they're telling me, Madam, it's 7,000 last, and he's even saying it with attitude. He's telling you,
is it that you buy or you leave?
Is it that kind of person you will now come and say, until I'm getting married, my Asoebi is 70,000? Do you get?
It's not 20,000.
It's not the season for it.
Even 20,000.
And if you can afford it, by all means, do. I just want to know what your other sources of income are.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, if you can afford it, we're not saying it's bad.
There's nothing wrong in it. Like I said, I know the history of Asoebi.
We're not saying it's bad.
I know the logic behind it. You get. But be sensitive. This is not the time to say, because you didn't buy my Asoebi, then
I start keeping malice.
Did you see there was this video that made rounds in the social media?
The old woman
was actually
and she was laying curses. She was laying curses on all of them that didn't buy her Asoebi. That the food they are eating will come out through their ears and their nose. Oh my goodness. People actually were living and I suspect that old woman. Even though later I think people spoke to her and she came back to apologize, but no. An old woman laying curses. And people were there hearing you laying curses and they were eating. And you were saying the food will pass through.
You can't take it back.
So I think prudence is good for people.
And then I need to bring this in to say, again, we've said it several times to say communication. Open communication. See, Oga, if your wife does not know what you have, then you give her free rein to demand whatever. You see, we women are wired to protect our safety.
Okay, I think we were discussing off air. Let's just quickly chip this in.
And manage
I was
ourselves.
you were of the opinion, the guy should. Did you say the man should call his wife? They should sit down
have that
like this and have that conversation.
Say, this is what is on ground.
Then I now said, let's even assume that the guy fails to do that. He doesn't, call the wife. Shouldn't the wife be the one to do the calling to say, honey, let's sit down. This is what is on ground. This is our pockets now. This is what's on our purse. This is these children. These are the expenses that we have, the bills we have to pay. It's no more. The things are not come. The incomes are not as it used to be. We are not getting so much, but there's a lot of expenditures and all that. You sit down and iron it out and be sincere with each other.
Whoever calls the meeting, let that meeting happen.
Let it happen, exactly. It doesn't matter now. Whoever
You
does
were saying let's
right.
be on the same page. I said let's be in the same book. If you're reading Harry Potter, you're on page 15. And I'm reading something else, and on page 15. We're on the same page, but we're not in the same book.
Right? Yes, I think that,
You know,
that's really very
couples need to
important.
have this. In fact, if you allow me, to go a step further, I think older children, maybe not the younger ones, but older children, teenagers, and maybe older teens could actually be brought into that conversation.
I agree.
It does 3 things. One, they know the reality of life. You're training them for when they become responsible.
Right.
They're not living in any fool's paradise. 2, it reduces their demands. Look, children are more understanding than we give them credit for.
Absolutely. They just want you to carry them along.
Carry them along.
Yes, so that you don't look at them as such children. Like they will tell you, do you think I will not understand?
They say that, and many times we truly don't think they will.
Do you think I will not understand?
But they do.
But they actually do. And they feel respected that you have given them, they feel like you've given them regard by involving them.
And you see,
these teenagers are younger.
They will help you budget.
Exactly.
To say, okay, mommy, can we cut down on this? Can we cut down on that? Can we? That's the second. Right. And then the third thing is it relieves the pressure on you as the parent.
Exactly.
So when everybody knows this is
it. So no one will just make unnecessary demands.
Nobody. Not your wife, not
the children.
Or not your husband. Everybody knows, okay, this is it. You now find the older ones telling the younger ones, don't worry, wait, when mommy has money, she will buy for you.
Exactly.
So you've given yourself peace. I mean, come on. Hunger is there. Don't add frustration to it. Don't add resentment to it by not communicating. Now, we know a lot of people have the communication. That communication is one of the things that
the biggest challenge.
Families. Yeah. As fast.
Yes.
Start from where you
families with couples with their children. Yes, that's breaking communication. It's a lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage.
Okay, this brings me to this very brief story. Let me just summarize it. There was a story about a man that the son asked for money. He asked the son asked him for like let's say 1,000 naira. And the man just had that 1,000 naira, both home and abroad. And he, being the parents, he feels obligated. It's his duty to provide for his children, to give to them whatever they need they ask for at every given point in time. So he didn't want to disappoint the boy. He slept over it, thinking about it. How do I fail this boy? He needs for him to have asked there. He needs it, and at the same time, if I give it to him, this all I have in the house. How do we continue? I don't have any other money. So in the morning, he gave the boy 900 naira, remaining 100 naira, and the boy picked up the 900 naira. And was like a little bit, Daddy, why didn't you complete it now? For you to have given me 900, then you would have completed it 1,000. So the boy wasn't so happy because he doesn't know what's on ground. Then the mother heard and called the boy aside and gave the boy 100 naira to balance or to complete. Then the boy now was excited. The 900 naira the father gave him that was more didn't excite him because he felt it wasn't enough. Just the least, the 100 naira the mother gave him to add up to complete the amount he needed made him very happy and thanked the mother. So it was as if the glory was given to the mother that gave the least rather than the father that even did more sacrifice, gave even more, 900 naira. What was the lesson from that story?
No communication.
The father ought to have called him, my son, this is what's on ground. Even before then.
No communication. Call his wife to say, this boy has asked for this. This is what I have. Okay, let's do it like this. I have 100. Let's hold on to this 100 and give him the 1,000. Finish.
So the boy will not have no one.
He might not know.
Involve
everybody to say, okay,
right, this is it.
Guys, between you and your mother, we have 1,100. What are your thoughts?
So because the boy didn't know that was all the father had, that was why he wasn't so grateful. He seemed ungrateful because he was not carried along. It's a period where if we have children, adult children, teenage children, we are concluding now, all right? And let them know what's on ground. Let them know your financial capacity, what you have, what you can afford, and what you cannot afford, so that they will not make unnecessary demands or make demands that will make you, begin to run helter-skelter or want to go out of your way, or you not being able to meet their demands without them knowing what is on ground will not make them resent you or get frustrated. We also want to make them go outside to help themselves by getting involved in any kind of crime, some kind of crime, associating with the wrong pair, with the wrong people, and doing the wrong thing. So yes, communication is key. So I would like you to ask, what's your last take?
Talk about
counsel to our listeners.
My last take on this would be talk about it. Talk about it's money. I know we're uncomfortable about talking about money, but right now we're uncomfortable because we don't have enough. So let's just talk about it. Let everybody know what's up. Budget. We do it to some degree, but now is the time to hold on to those budgets and
key time to hold on to those budgets.
Keep to the budget.
What is not on the budget should be left out. Except it's an emergency.
If it's an emergency.
Right, except it's an emergency.
At all, I'm bad pass.
Right.
Try and save something. Invest something, because inflation is catching up with savings.
Yes, it is.
Now, read books about money. Read books about getting other sources of income. Because opportunities are actually out there. But if you don't look for them, they won't come and knock on your door anymore. These days, you have to. They say opportunity knocks for once. You don't wait for the opportunity to knock.
Right.
Open your door and go outside.
Run after opportunities. Chase opportunities. Look for opportunities.
Look for them.
Don't sit down where you are and wait for them to come to you. Right. That's true.
So, that's my.
Thank you so very much. And let's not forget that, just like she has rightly emphasized, communication is key. We don't know for how long these times will be with us, but they are here now, and we are here. And let's intentionally work as a team, as at every level of our relationship. Mostly as couple, as a husband and wife, you are a team. You have to learn to carry out that practice as a team. Carry your children that are at least that have gotten to that teenage level, teenagers and young adults. Carry them along. Let them know what's on ground, what's going on. So thank you so much for watching, and always give us feedbacks. Follow us on our social media handles, which are already on your screen, at Pure Heart Family on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Always. And by the way, if you by any means you have a need of counsel, our phone numbers are also there. Our email is there. Go to our page. Visit us at Pure Heart Family. You can email us, send us a mail, or reach out to us on WhatsApp. Our numbers are there. You need counsel. You know somebody that needs counsel on any of these issues that surround family, parenting, and relationships. Let us know. We'll be glad to always reach out to you. Thank you once again, Moji.
Thank you so much for having me.
We hope to see you more often.
Absolutely.
So until our next episode, my name is Elizabeth Samsedi. Bye.